Today's video is on momentum and energy, specifically is on elastic and inelastic collisions. I'll be very short, but please pay more attention. For both elastic and inelastic, momentum is conserved. So here, momentum is conserved. And also here, momentum is conserved. So in both cases, momentum is conserved. But for an elastic, or should I say elastic collision, it's not only momentum that is conserved, also kinetic energy is conserved. Here, it is not conserved. This all is what you need to be able to differentiate between elastic and inelastic collisions. This simply means that for an inelastic collision, the kinetic energy that the system is going to have before is not going to be equal to an energy that is going to have after. So some energies will be lost through sound and light sometimes and heat during the collision. This can make energy loss. So that will be an inelastic collision. But for an elastic collision, we call them perfect collisions because there is no energy loss. Most of them are ideal collision because they're not always real. These happen maybe when you're talking about electrons that are bouncing or maybe colliding on each other. Because when electrons bounce on each other, maybe if this one they come and collide, they come in different directions. After the collision, they're going to move at different directions, and they are going to have the initial energy that they have when they or after the collision. But let me say there is a collision of a car or a car accident. If two cars collide, if two cars collide, because of there will be sound, there will be heat. So they mostly stop, meaning the energy that they had. Firstly, they were moving, so they had kinetic energy. And after the collision, now they are not moving, meaning that energy that they had is now lost. Even though the momentum is conserved, because we did talk about in the previous video, check it on the link, I'll just link it to you, where in momentum is conserved while the objects just are, are just attached to each other and stopped or after the collision. So in a car collision or car accident or car collision, let me call it, if cars collide on each other, momentum will be conserved, but for kinetic energy, it will be not. It will be lost through some energies of which I did mention: heat, light, and so on. In the previous video of momentum, I did mention that whenever there is or it is an isolated system, momentum will always be conserved. We can use that to prove that collision is elastic or is it not. Energy can be calculated using mass and velocity of an object. That can be presented using this formula. E for energy, specifically kinetic energy, is equals to half mass velocity square of an object. For an elastic collision, energy or kinetic energy, B for collision, is going to equal to the energy after the collision. But for an inelastic, it's a different case now. So what is happening on inelastic? The energy that is had before the collision is not equal to an energy that it will have after the collision. So there will be some energy loss. Now we can use this equation to try to work on this problem. Let's go through the problem. Here they're saying a velocity of a moving roller is of a moving roller mass of 1 kg is 3 meters per second. A block of mass of 0.5 kg is dropped vertically onto the roller. Immediately after the collision, the speed of a roller and the block is 2 meters in original direction. Is the collision elastic or inelastic? Prove your answer with a suitable calculation. Mostly we know that to prove that it is elastic or inelastic, the only thing that you need to check if the kinetic energy that it had before is equal to a kinetic energy that it will have after the collision. So now let's work it out. Kinetic energy that it had before is equal to half mass velocity square of the first object, of which is a moving roll, plus a kinetic energy that what was dropped, a block of this mass that was dropped, mass v squared. So we then substitute our values. Here we are talking about the block. Here we're talking about the trolley. I truly advise people to denote which goes for what, because if you are working with long equations, it's going to confuse you if you didn't denote if which one was a trolley or which one was for the block. Okay, so half mass of a trolley is 1. You substitute. Velocity of a trolley is 3, all squared. Then we are moving to plus kinetic energy of a block. First, the block, okay, I'm going to put that half from the formula itself. The mass here is what? Mass of a block is 0.5 kgs. I put that in a bracket. When it comes to velocity initial, so a block mass was dropped vertically. Why? Okay, then why do we have to put 0 here? Because we put 0 for velocity of a block. It's because of the thing that I did explain on my video on momentum. Because we are working, the block is moving, the trolley is moving this way, and this thing that is dropped like this. So its velocity, looking at it at x-axis, it is not moving because it is dropped. It is moving on the y plane, because we are talking about something that is moving on x plane, so this is considered as to be not moving. But for more clarity, go and check that video. So then you are going to work out here using your calculator. So we then put all that in our calculator. A calculator, you know how to use a calculator. I have videos on teaching on how to do that. So I'm very sorry. You put your fraction and you put exactly the equation as it is on the problem, on your solutions. Then you put your substitution, you put your 3 there, you put your square. I truly remind people to go and to remember to put the square. Whenever students, if are working this, they normally forget that square out there. And it's plus half again. You could have used your maths on taking the common factor, and which could be easier, 0.5. Because there is 0 on this, I shouldn't be even putting this on my equations, but then we do it because we're using a calculator. To avoid the explaining, just put exactly what is here, because it's not always going to be a case. So we have our answer. Our answer is going to be 9 over 2, which is equal to 4,5. 4,5 joules. So that is the energy that the system has before the collision. Let's look at the energy that it will have after the collision. Again, we use the very same formula, but there will be some little modification on it. It's energy or kinetic energy of a system after now. I prefer that you put that after so that you won't be confused. is always equal to half mass v squared v squared. But here, let's look at it. Immediately after the collision, the speed of a roller and a block becomes this. So after they've just collided, they have one speed, of which is this one. So because of here we need one mass, it's going to be mass of both a roller and a block. So it's going to be half. Mass is mass of both. It's 3 plus 3 plus 0, 0.5. It's a mass for both block and the roll multiplied by velocity squared, of which is 2. Oh, I'm very sorry. 2 all squared. Then you get your answer. So I'm very sorry here I put the speed instead of the mass, so I missed something. So I think now you see where I wronged. Here the 3 that I've been trying to put in here, it's been refusing. So it was like it's new that you shouldn't be putting me here. So it's supposed to be what? It's supposed to be 1 plus, because it's a mass of 1 for the trolley and a mass of 0, 0.5 for the brake. And then if you do your maths there, it's going to be half. Oh, sorry, it's going to be half. Sorry, it's going to be half. Open brackets 1 plus 0, 0.5. You close, you open, you put your velocity of which is 2 all squared. Then you get an answer of 3 joules. So we are going to look at the question of pendulum. This is one of the questions that examiners love a lot because it sometimes get confusing. Just going to help you analyze it. For a pendulum question, we're looking at conservation of mechanical energy. Okay, mechanical energy. What are we saying here? We're saying a mechanical energy that this ball has at the top is equal to the very same mechanical energy uh, in the bottom. What do we mean really? We mean that since the ball is out at this position, it has energy that is called mgh, gravitational energy that it has because of its height above the ground. So because of this h, it have this energy. Because it is moving, it also have kinetic energy, mv squared, that we've been discussing. It also have this energy because it's moving. Even if it can go till this position, let me say it here, it still has what? It still has its mgh because it still has a height relative to the ground, mgh plus half mv squared, of which is kinetic energy. Mechanical conservation of mechanical energy simply means that the energy that is held at a certain point is going to equal to the energy that it has on that other point too. So we can take advantage of this principle and solve for velocities and heights of a pendulum equation. But don't forget to say this whenever you're working with a pendulum equation, that mechanical energy it had in the top is equal to the very same mechanical energy it has on the bottom. This is supposed to be B for the bottom. We can also still use conservation of linear momentum. Remember on the previous example or previous solution that I used, we were solving using conservation of mechanical energy. Now we can also use conservation of linear momentum. It's still the very same thing that we did, which was momentum before is equal to momentum after, sum of momentum after. So you can still do those things, that is mv plus mv is equals to mv plus another mv. So thank you for watching. I think this is enough. If you don't understand or facing any trouble or need any more example to work on, or maybe you have some problem that you need me to help you do regarding this topic or any other topic in physics and maths, could you please just hit the comment, hit the bell, and also subscribe and share to your friends. Thank you.